What if you invested $1,000 in Cardano today? Well, as of today, Cardano is at an all-time high that it's ever been at. And there's probably a lot of people wondering this question. Is it time to buy? Is it time to get my hands on Cardano before we go all the way to, $5 from where we are right now at an all-time high of $2.50? And the answer to that question is, are you ready to hold on for a long time? Because there's a good chance we see a correction, we see a dip for a few months to a year, and we don't see that crazy price that everyone's wanting. At the same time, there's a good chance we do see that price. But in this video today, I want to go over some of the possibilities and what could happen if you were to put in $1,000 towards Cardano today. But before we get going into the video, I just want to let you guys know, if you're holding Cardano any amount whatsoever, you can actually stake it. There's a video link down in the description on how to do so, and earn 5% APY paid in ADA through staking. It doesn't cost any risk. It's pretty much just like free ADA, and you can do so with my stake pool, Jack. But moving on to the video, I want to talk about return on investment. And Cardano so far has been an outperformer, to say the least, in the top cryptos, in going around. And this also may be indication that maybe it's time to look at something smaller than Cardano, since the gain's already up so high. Something to really take into consideration is that maybe, just maybe, we're not going to see from here a 10x in the next month or in the next year. But the thing is, I personally look long term. So what I'm thinking is, okay, ADA's up a lot. Maybe I won't buy a bunch right now. I wouldn't buy a lump sum right now. Maybe I continue buying my weekly buys, dollar cost averaging in. Or maybe I take a break and I look at some other smaller coins that I like in the ecosystem, like Ergo, or perhaps, Singularity Net, different projects. Maybe that's what I do. But here's the thing. I definitely wouldn't go all in with all my money that I'm willing to spend on an all-time high, mainly just because it is much more gambling than it is investing, unless you're planning on holding for a very, very long time frame, which for me, anytime I buy any cryptocurrencies, if I'm not willing to hold 5 years, I don't bother buying it. That's just my way of doing things. And that's something I've established in myself within the past, year. That's just how I'm rolling now. And it's much less strenuous and it's pretty easy. You just buy, hold. And because I have a lot of conviction in these things, and you have to get your own conviction by looking at what you like to see in an investment. But because I have a lot of conviction in Cardano, I'm not scared about buying here. I wouldn't be scared about buying here because I plan on holding for 5 years. And in 5 years, the price of Cardano is going to be much more than $2, possibly upwards of $30, in my opinion. Now, let's look at the rest of the market though, because right here in this chart, you see Cardano's up 10,000% in the past year. And, BNB, the runner-up, is only up 4,000%. So Cardano is, to say the least, outperforming the rest of the crypto markets in returns in the past year already. Is it a good time to put $1,000 into Cardano? That's a question you have to answer yourself, depending on your holding frame. But don't leave yet. I got some more information for you. Taking a look at other top cryptos, Cardano is now in the number 3 spot for cryptocurrencies, meaning that compared to something down here with a lot more risk inherently, because it's smaller and easier to manipulate, something down here can yield you a lot more if it's going to go up the charts to the top 10, top 5. And Cardano, it only has 2 spots ahead of itself, meaning to me, Cardano is a blue chip now. It's a safe bet is what I would call it. And I'm just a guy in my mom's basement. What do I know? But compared to other investments, Cardano is more of that safer bet. And still, this safe bet is much better than essentially any stock you're going to get your hands on or any index fund you're going to get your hands on. Still much better. Even Bitcoin, to me, I would much rather Bitcoin than any other thing outside of cryptocurrencies from an investment standpoint. But is it worth to put $1,000 in now? That's the question, right? To me, it is worth it because I'm holding for 5 years. If it goes to $30, If it goes to $10, I'm up 5x. So if I'm holding for that long, absolutely, I'd just dump my money in. That's just me though. That's me. I'm not going to sell. If you're going to sell and you're scared about the price and you don't think it's going to go up, definitely don't put your money into the thing. Whatever it may be, Cardano, Bitcoin, Ethereum, or any other cryptocurrency, if you aren't convicted in that thing or in that crypto, I wouldn't even bother putting any money in. Unless it's money you are okay with just 100% losing. That's how I look at it. Now let's go ahead and look at the all-time highs and where Cardano has gone in the past few weeks. So a few weeks ago, only 3 weeks ago, Cardano was sitting at $1.14. And now we've climbed this huge wall and we're sitting at $2.54, well over this all-time high back in May that was set. And when we zoom out, Cardano is going crazy. But here's the thing. If we're to see a $32 Cardano, this chart we're looking at here is going to be quite insignificant. To go from $2 to $32, I don't think it's going to be in the next year. I think it's going to take many years. But there's going to be jumps that are bigger than, a $1.40 jump. There's going to be jumps that are $5. There's going to be jumps that are $3, $2. They're going to be huge jumps. And that's inherent volatility with something that is appreciating very quickly in value. But with huge jumps also comes huge downfalls and huge pits. You're going to see here, if you were a holder at 240 or you bought in here, you got some devastation to go through. And if you plan on holding for 2 years, you probably wouldn't even mind because you were convicted to go back up. And it did. And now you're over breaking even and you're in profit. And if it is to go back down again, you probably won't be too devastated if you're trying to hold long term because eventually we're going to see a new support that was formed here at $1 be formed up at $2 or $3. And that's the long-term inevitability that I see in Cardano. And also, in terms of competition with Bitcoin and Ethereum, Cardano has recently also broken its all-time high against the Bitcoin pair, the ADA Bitcoin pair. And this is actually pretty huge, over 5,000 Satoshis. If you don't know what that means, essentially, Cardano is decoupling itself slowly but surely away from Bitcoin, meaning the more Bitcoin fluctuates and as ADA gets more decoupled, the less ADA is influenced. Obviously, Bitcoin is still going to influence the rest of the crypto markets right now, but Cardano's, slowly getting up that ladder of getting itself away from Bitcoin price action and getting a mind of its own based on its own valuations solely. It's going to take a while to get there. Yes, it's going to take a long while to get there, but it's still doing it now. It's still making its way up. It's making those steps. Okay, now what else can I say about should you buy Cardano? What would happen if you bought $1,000 today? Well, if you bought $1,000 of ADA today and you held for 5 years, like I just mentioned, say you sell 30%, you can keep the rest and probably do whatever you want with the rest of your life. Now, depending on how much ADA you have, I would say if you hold for 5 years, if you bought 100,000 ADA right now, you're going to be well off. If $32 hits, you have 100,000 ADA, $3.2 million. Bam, sell 30%. That's like $1 million. Obviously, there's taxes and everything, but get $1 million to buy whatever you want, do whatever you want. And then you can even live off staking rewards from Cardano. So there's lots of things that could happen. And in 5 years, who knows, we might even have stable coins that are built on ADA, the algorithmic stable coins that allow you to buy a house with them. And you don't even have to sell your ADA for that fiat money. So many things to say what would happen if you bought Cardano today, $1,000 worth. And a lot could happen, but in my eyes, most likely is you're going to be richer in a few years than you were today if you put $1,000 into Cardano. So now you know what could happen if you invested $1,000 in Cardano today. The answer is a lot. And the answer to should I invest $1,000 into Cardano today is I don't actually know. You're going to have to discuss that with yourself, with your own mind, and make up your own convictions to lead to that decision. But if you want to stick around and enjoy more Cardano content, I post every single day to this channel, an episode of Cardano Daily. This is actually the 53rd episode or the 54th, can't really remember, of the series, and I'll be doing it every day going forward, along with other Cardano based videos and crypto based videos. So if you want to stay up to date, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell, hit the stake pool and stake with Jack, and have a great freaking day.